Hi, my name is Megan Jimenez, and this is the first morning message that I'm going to do. And I'm not very good at talking about hopeful things and being optimistic, but one thing I really wanted to talk about in this morning message is talking about if you want a government for action, then I think it's really important to always hold on to trying to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. And I think that many of the people who want a government of action, they really hold on to being part of the problem and not the solution. And one thing that really hit home for me in the last couple days is the plane crash that took place where the military helicopter hit the plane. And I didn't hear about that at first. But I had some friends message me and ask if my daughter is okay because she skates for Disney on Ice and she's always traveling. And she happens to be on a United States tour. She's done other tours in other countries, but she happens to be on the United States tour. So people asked about that, and I really, I didn't know about it. And when I found out she was okay and I learned what was going on, I felt a lot better. But I realized that when I saw Trump go on TV and talk about, that they're not sure what caused it, but he brings up DEI and says we're investigating that, and I feel like that's kind of bait. It's almost like a cultural argument that something a lot of people accuse the left of always engaging in. But then I saw people, I don't know, I don't like to really characterize people, but I saw people on another spectrum say that, we don't know who was on the helicopter, maybe we don't know their names, they probably did this on purpose. And, that's not really, when you buy into that and you have certain feelings about that, it makes you really not really wanting to even work for a government that is for action, because that kind of, it almost makes you want to pick a side if you let it. But the thing is, you don't have to let it. A government that is for action would come out to the American people and say, this is devastating, let's do what we can help, and let's find what happened. And, we won't come back and talk to you again until we have some real answers. We're not going to put you in this trap of, picking some side or some reason why you think this happened, and I think that it's so easy to get into that kind of framework. And I also think that it's quite disrespectful because, I never really thought of it like in this light, but if my daughter had been on that plane and she had passed away, and then I had, our president saying, well, it's possibly from a DEI hire, you're already not in a mental state that is really well at that point. So when you hear that, that's something that's going to really make you almost radicalized, almost like really wanting to go after some people who you think did it, and the same on the other side. If you think that, our military and our CIA is involved in something that's like crashing into our domestic flights, it make you feel the same way. So I think a government of action would, and I see this in other countries, and they have devastating things that happen to them. You don't see their presidents, you don't see presidents of other countries just automatically going on TV talking about who's, picking a side of a political spectrum of who's to blame, and, it's because of this, or, it's because, like in the United States, they say Trump did it because supposedly, he cut, air traffic controllers and made them lose their jobs, like, what was that, 5-6 days ago, and now all of a sudden this is happening. There's so much more at stake, and I think that a government of action would want to make sure that the government, they can use you as bait if you let them, right? You can be constituents or people who want a better government, but if you allow them to get away with this kind of thing, then they will throw bait at you because they know that they can, because they see you like rats in a cage. But if you want a government of action who's going to work for you, then you have to at some point get out of this mind trap, and you have to ask them for accountability. You have to ask them for unpartisan answers about things that are happening right now and how you can help the people. So I think that it's really discouraging on both sides to see things like this, and I think it's quite disrespectful to people who've lost lives, who lost loved ones, just automatically throw out the things to the public on both sides that are really not true, that they really have no answers of. Instead, say, this is devastating, let's help people, and let's understand that this was probably really most likely senseless if you think about it. Why did this happen, and what can we do to fix it? So, thank you.